West Ham have just lost 3-1 to Leicester. Oh, yeah, post-match plan. The only post-match football show on the internet. We lost to Leicester. We have not come there. Nicky's up there. And that's how we responded to losing 5-2 to Arsenal, was to go and lose to 3-1 against Leicester in a must-win. And we didn't win. When we must, we didn't must, as my friend Saeed said. Scott, mate, he can't keep his job after that. He can't.
Do you know what?
You don't start. Scott, come on, man. Come on, Scott.
Let's break it down, right? Starting 11 wise, what's he doing dropping Somerville again? Do you know what I mean? He's lost his mind. He dropped Emerson and played a right back at left back. Talibo, we knew was going to be injured anyway. He drops Paquetá. Okay, I sort of understand it. But then to drop Somerville as well. Kudus ain't kicked a ball in anger for 7 games, and he brings him straight back in. Talk about like kick someone when he's down. He drag him off at half time against Arsenal, and you drop him completely for the next game when he's been our most attacking threat. I know, I had a chat with Brian afterwards, and I understand he gives the ball away, but he gives the ball away because he tries things, and that's the one thing. Paquetá, again, you've dropped most of your creativity through the midfield. Soler had a decent enough, first half, but you can't defend like that. That was that within a minute, we play a high line against Jamie Vardy. The guy that's made
high lines for breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's just fucking madness, mate. It was just madness, and that was it. That was it. From then on, you just knew, and yeah, mate.
And the thing is, we didn't learn from it. We did the same highlight. And I said, after the Chelsea game, I said, you cannot play a high line with Mavropanos.
Nope.
And he done the same thing. And Mavropanos, once again, in complete no man's land, leaving Kilman exposed and on his own. Especially look at that. I think it was the third goal where Daka takes the touch, goes round him, because Kilman's all the way up the right wing. Mavropanos is up the right wing for some reason.
Yeah, the problem is, Dan, as soon as when you look at the tone, their goals took the tone of their performance. And I've said to you before coming on here, and I said to the guys in the chat, I now know how Chelsea fans and Brighton fans felt playing against us the other season, because they absolutely annihilated us, and we go on and win a game. I think, what was it, 3-1, both of them fixtures, or 3-0, whatever it was. Same things happened to us today. It's roles reversed. We had 20 shots in the first half. I think they said at half time that's the most shots we've ever had in our Premier League history in one half of a game. But you can't finish. Look, the keeper played well, but you can't finish. You've got to be looking at the problems. Bowen was selfish and greedy at times. There was a couple of times tonight where he could have played the square ball and decided to take a shot on an angle he was never going to score. Players, listen, Lopetegui's got to take the responsibility for the starting performance, but players have also got to stand up and be counted for. There were certain players out there today. Our defending through the whole 90 minutes was absolutely shambolic. The goal that got disallowed, Emerson watching the player walk off him and tap the ball into the back of the net. Fabianski again getting beat at his near post. You can't justify it.
What?
Yes.
Do you think then
game in possession? Yes, we had more shots than they did. But at the end of the day, you can have as many shots as you fucking want. You don't put the ball in the back of the net. You don't put the ball in the back of the net. It's what counts.
But you look at it like we said about that high line, but they was utilising real through balls. They was really getting in dangerous positions.
Yep.
And they, even though we had the shots and we had the chances at the time, I just felt like they would look more likely to score, because when they was getting through us, they was putting themselves in situations where they could have the best chance to score. Look how many times we was just having shots. How many shots just got blocked? How many times we just kicked the ball at their players and just hit and hope? That's what a lot of the shots were. We were just having a go because we weren't opening them up at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kick it.
That's it, mate. as I said, when you look at the way they defended, it was very us-esque of last season, putting their bodies on the line, throwing everything in front of the ball. The keeper had a really good game. Pulled off a save. The save he made, I think, was a shot from Kudus that took a deflection and he was totally off. It was nowhere near it. He managed to tip it over, and that was the difference at the end of the day, mate. Every time they come forward, they looked like scoring. Every time we went forward, we didn't.
Yeah, it didn't. And the goal we did score, it was a really like a poor corner from Bowen again that kind of gets badly defended, just flicks on from their play. I don't know why he heads it backwards.
It was Somerville that flicked it on.
Was it Somerville? I thought it was one of their defenders.
It was near post corner. Somerville flicks it on and Fulcrum puts it in the back of the net. So, that's realistically the only main positive you can take from the game is that Fulcrum got his first goal.
It was a scrappy goal. I mean, he didn't even need to really head it. He sort of just like glanced his head a little slightly, because it sort of bounced and went in. I mean, not taking any. I'm glad Fulcrum got his first goal for the club. Yeah, that is a positive. But overall, it did not look like a team that was trying to make up for a 5-2 performance. They was happy to let us have the ball for a lot of the time, and we just didn't really know what to do with it. And that was the problem. And again, not learning lessons. If Lopetegui sees that first goal and see how the high line gets caught out and ripped apart, you would think you would make some changes. I know we can't just go and sit back. No one's saying that. But you can't just have all your defenders that high up the pitch and exposed and see the same thing happening again and again.
Yeah. And that's the thing, mate. You've got to sit there and you've got to start thinking that if you're going to play that high line, then your defence have got to be very, very resolute in holding the line. But you've also got to look at, you need either a fullback or you need one of the centre halves to be round, looking to come round the back and cover the other one. More of like a sweeper, so that you've got that. One's got to know where the striker is. One's got to sweep in behind.
Which Wan-Bissaka is perfect for that, but for some reason Wan-Bissaka is just still high up. So you've got, and it's the same thing we've been doing with when Mavropanos plays. He has not got the legs to get back. There's no pace. If you're playing a high line, you'll have the pace. But for some reason, you see Wan-Bissaka and Mavropanos both occupying the same space out on the right wing, and the ball just goes, just acres of space, just over the top, boom, run onto it, 1-on-1, easy peasy.
The thing is, mate, I know you're saying about Mavropanos, so I do agree, but Kilburn didn't hold his head up high today. He was poor. And it weren't because he was playing alongside Mavropanos. He was poor. This is the thing. As I said, none of them defended well. Wan-Bissaka done a few of his usual challenges, winning the ball back with his extendable legs that he seems to have. Soufal I didn't think was great. And as I said, Emerson, why he got dropped in the first place. I know we only played on Saturday, but we've got a long break now between games because obviously we don't play till Monday.
Yeah. And he just scored as well, Mav Emerson. He just scored a great free kick, and he decides to play Wan-Bissaka initially out at left back. Obviously, then he brings Emerson, switches him right back, and you just wonder, what is the plan? Again, I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know what our identity is, and what it's just so hard to figure out. And it's like, I don't know if the players understand it. It seems like they don't understand what he's trying to do.
And the thing is as well, mate, we had chances. You've seen most of the game, we would probably had two up front. And he doesn't look at a system where we're dominating possession, we're dominating the ball. Then go two up top. Put the pressure on their back line. Their back line has crumbled. They went 1-0 up against Brentford at the weekend and got beat 4-1. It was the case that you needed to keep a clean sheet. You needed to sort that side of it out because of the drubbing that we got against Arsenal. But you needed to put them under pressure. Okay, at points we did put them under pressure. There was a good spell after we went 1-0 down where we did dominate the ball. But like you said, mate, they were happy for us to have the ball. They were happy for us to be in front of them and them to defend for their lives. And mate, I was watching you watch along when you said, the new manager bounce. It's a bullshit thing.
Yeah.
It's been there 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
3 days. If you've like the one thing I agree with you, mate, when we were doing the preview yesterday, you turned around and said if he implements something within 3 days, and Lopetegui hasn't implemented something in the period of time he's been at our football club, it just goes to show.
Yeah, it's spot on, mate. It does. It really does. And like I said, he's had a full pre-season. It's not like he's come here and cleaned up someone's mess. He's had transfer window pre-season, watched us for 6 months apparently, and this is the result. I'm all for time and all of that, but I just can't see us progressing in any meaningful way under Lopetegui. And this was a game that we should have looked and thought, yeah, that's one there. Like at least a draw, for God's sake, at least a point away. And I wouldn't have been content with it. But to lose 3-1, and I was speaking to a Leicester fan before the game, and he looked at him and was like, "You're going to tear our defence apart. Like you're going to absolutely cook us." And I said, "We did, get in and create some chances and have some shots, but like I said, we weren't exactly tearing them apart to the point where they were shitting themselves. We was having shots, but I don't know if we really had them sweating too much, especially in the second half."
Do you know, and that disappointed me a bit because, especially how we were in the first half. You look at the chances that we had. I think Ings hit the post in. He's a header that got deflected, hit the post. He put one wide. Bowen put one wide. Keeper pulled off a good save from Bowen. I think Souček put one over. Kudus put one wide. We had chances. Second half, clear cut chances were very few and far between. I still don't get why the goal was ruled out, to be honest. I don't think, if you watch it back, the defender pushes Souček into the goalkeeper and the goalkeeper flaps it and punches it in his own net. I think it was one of them where, because it wasn't a clear and obvious mistake, VAR didn't overrule it.
Yeah, it's one of them. Because he's looked at it and thought, oh, it's a foul on the keeper, he's obstructing him, he's body checking him. I was saying that is, you see Arsenal do that time and time again. That's an Arsenal special, that. But again, it's been that rule, isn't it? If it's not clear and obvious, then he's not going to overrule. It was kind of similar, I think, to the Mavropanos on Wilson foul. I think they didn't overrule that as and give a penalty because it wasn't clear and obvious. So it goes both ways.
Swings and roundabouts. Yeah, that's it, mate. Like you said, it evens itself out in the long run. But you're sitting there now. You're looking. We've conceded 8 goals in 2 games.
Mate,
it's relegation form, mate.
Yeah, and it's not like we're playing this amazing swashbuckling football where, like Beelzebub, where we're attack, and we're just conceding because we're so attacking. Yeah, we're playing a high line, but it's not like we're playing this amazing attacking football. No. We're still just about just controlling it, passing it slowly, waiting for openings, passing it. A very slow football. We just happen to be high up the pitch. Even our pressing, we're not exactly pressing high up the pitch where you see us winning the ball back time and time again in their end. We're sort of like just, like I said, very just happy to back off of players. That's a frustration for me.
Yeah, this is it, mate. And it is, it's something we saw last season as well. The difference with last season is we were camped out in our own half doing it. We wasn't pressing from our own half, and this is the thing. This is why we got fed up with Moyes. Now we're not pressing, and we camped out in the opposition's half. It's just, as you said. Look, we've said it, mate. There's no identity in this football club at the minute. Nowhere. We've gone sideways, and now we're slowly going backwards.
Yeah.
It was crap last season. The football was crap last season. It's the whole reason we wanted Moyes gone, because there was no progress coming in that season. There was no progress coming in this season under David Moyes. We took a sideward step with the manager, and now there's no progress whatsoever.
So I know you was umming and ahhing in the start room when I said Lopetegui's got to go. Do you think he's got to be sacked?
I'll give him Wolves.
Mate, you can't give him Wolves, because this is the thing. You can't sit there and say to a manager, right, I will give you one of the most easy games you can get. I'm not saying no game's easy in the Premier League. I know that old chestnut, but that is one of the more winnable games. Like Wolves at home. I know Wolves have had a slight upturn in form, but you give him that and we win that, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't change anything. If we win that, are you going to sit down and turn around and go, "Oh, well, we won that. Oh, so we seem to be all right. Things are going."
Mate, it's the way we win it. It's the way we win it. That's the thing.
You know, honestly, even if we win it convincingly and we smash them, it's still not gonna mean much to me because look at the results Wolves have had. Like the thing is, Scott, we haven't seen all season consistent before. Even the games we win one, lose two, draw, lose. So it's not going to mean anything because then we've got who we got after Wolves. Leicester, is it Brighton?
Brighton at home, I think.
We've got Wolves at home. And then we've got, is it 2 home games back to back? No, Bournemouth away. So then we get Bournemouth away. So if we win Wolves, right, and we win it convincingly, 3-1 Wolves, say, and you're like, yeah, okay, he should stay. And then we go and lose to Bournemouth. And then what? We just reset the process. And then you give him like, well, if we don't beat Brighton and we don't beat Southampton or something, and then we just reset it like, that's what annoys me about this club. We always do that. We always get in this point where a manager's got one game to save his job, and then they happen to win that game, and then it resets, and then we start losing again. Well, and then he's going to get Southampton. We'll give him Southampton away because he loses Bournemouth and Brighton, so we get Southampton away, and we beat Southampton away, and then you go, well, you know, it seems, and we do that all the way to the end of the season until we're like fucking 16th. We just got mate.
Listen. I get what you're saying. It's a valid point in what you're saying, and this is the problem. It's when, like you said, it's always when do you pull the trigger? You know, this is the thing, and you know, it was the same with Moyes. There was times when we should have pulled the trigger on Moyes and didn't. You know, this is the thing. There's a lot of similarities with what's happening now as to what was happening under David Moyes, and it's just like you just know Sullivan. He just ain't gonna want to do it. He ain't gonna want to end up with egg on his face and sacking the manager before Christmas, and he ain't gonna want to get a decent manager in or pay money for a manager and then have to give him money in January.
Yeah, but like I said, it doesn't mean that we should keep this guy just because of that. Like. You're right. And we know how Sullivan operates, right? But we have to put pressure on Sullivan. And the thing is, my mindset is, if you're giving a manager one game to save his job, and that game is Wolves, just sack him. If you're thinking about sacking a manager, and you got to that point, and you're doubting him, and you're talking to other managers, just do it. Just get rid of him. It's the same analogy I gave on the preview. You know, you're talking to other women, you're thinking about leaving your wife for someone else, and you're speaking to this bird, then just leave her and go with the next one because there's already a problem there enough that you're thinking about leaving her. So just leave her, and you're liking this one, go to that one. And that's my thing with managers. It's just, and we're going into a January transfer window. And what we're going to have him for the January transfer window and give him a window.
Yeah, and this is the problem, mate. This is the thing, is that if you're not going to pull the trigger and you're going into January and you're going to give him funds in January, it makes it even harder then to pull the trigger after January.
Yeah.
No, Leicester have done it. They've pulled the trigger, got rid of their manager. They brought someone else in who's got a different philosophy, a different idea, and he'll try and implement that over the next few games, and then they'll see how they do. What is the new idea? What is the new identity that a no manager is going to bring into West Ham? Because we can't defend a high line. So any manager that's going to come and have a high press and play up in the final third and stuff like that is going to struggle with that, bringing in a pacier defender.
I think Tadibo can do it, especially more so that you need him available. It's crazy that we've had no centre backs on the. How are we so light in that department of centre backs?
I know. No, and this is the thing, mate. This is what you look at. You know, you've just literally, that is it. You've got them three plus the youngster Casey. You know, and it's mate. I just can't see where we're going at the minute. I really can't.
Yeah, it's looking grim, mate. It really is looking grim, and I think we just need to. And this is the thing, you know. We seem to have wanted Steidton wanted Amorim, right? That seemed to be his preferred choice, Amorim. Sullivan didn't want Amorim for reasons. One of them being the £10 million price tag. There's other reasons we've heard about. He didn't want Amorim. He says no to Amorim, and he gives him Lopetegui. Steidten rumoured not to want Lopetegui. You've hired this man to do a job in Steidten. Just let him do his job. You're paying him to choose the players, to choose the manager. So if he chooses one and it flops, then you hold him accountable. You say, you know.
And this is the thing, right? I was listening to TalkSport this morning, and Tony Quatty was on there, and he said, you've got to look at the manager, you've got to look at the chairman for bringing the manager in, but you've also got to look at Steidten at bringing the players in. Now, if you're, like you're saying there, if you're hiring Steidten to bring the players in, to bring the philosophy of the football that you want to play and bring the players in, if Steidten's the one identifying the manager that he says, right, we need to get this guy, and then he's going out and getting the players that play the style of football that you've employed this director of football to implement through the club, and then you don't listen to him with a manager and go and get the manager that doesn't play that way, your signings are then going to flop.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, and that to me is what's happening. He's picked these players. Okay, look, you look at Fulkrug, the injury, okay, that was a bit unfortunate, but he was injury prone before that. Somerville, I wouldn't say he's flopped. Todibo, I wouldn't say he's flopped. They've not pulled up any trees, but they've not flopped. They're not flops. No. Somerville, as we've said, has been one of our most attacking threats all season. Todibo looks like a player that's there. Kilman, barring the last 2 games, has been pretty consistent and pretty solid. Wan-Bissaka's been an improvement on the right back side.
Yeah.
So, what's the issue? Is the issue starting picking the players, or is it the fact that we went cheap with the manager? And that's what you've got to start looking at.
Yeah, it's got to be. And I think you're spot on. I think there's definitely a case of that, of Steidten. There was a clear sort of push from the club. I think Sullivan, Steidten, that we want to play better football. Everyone, it was a real issue for the fans last season. They was aware of it and knew that we wanted to play better football this season. So yeah, I fully believe that's what Steidten went for Amorim, and look at some of the way that he's got Man United playing. So that's what he wanted. And like you said, he's identifying players that fit that. We've got players, centre backs now, who can play out from the back in Kilman and Todibo. And they've just gone and cheaped out on a manager that's available. We didn't give him Amorim. Then, Lopetegui's available, and he's managed Real Madrid and Spain, and he's been in the Prem. So, and he's free. So we'll get him, and that's what we've ended up with now, is this mishmash of styles and just a clash. And that's the problem. Steidten, Lopetegui seems to be maybe be trying to. I think they was probably, when he was interviewed, they said, well, this is how we want to play. And that's why we've got this weird high line thing for a pragmatic manager to play, and he doesn't know how to utilize it. And this is why we're getting cut open.
And the mad thing is, though, mate, if Tadic is a Steidten pick and he's not a very pragmatic, do you know what I mean? He's very much a similar type of manager to Lopetegui. Then you're sitting there and you seriously start asking questions as well.
Well, if that's true, yeah. And the thing is as well, we play this high line, but it's scary. Like, we've got more possession, but it's how easily and cheaply we lose the ball. We give up possession. So you're playing your whole team high up the pitch, and then in just lackadaisically passing the ball around, we just give it away. Next thing, 2 passes, they're through. That's another issue. We're playing high, but we're not. There's no real intensity or urgency about our play when we are up the pitch that high.
Well, that's the thing as well. When you look at it, we've brought defenders in because a big problem of last season is we were leaking goals. Last season, a lot of the time, we looked like every time a team went on the attack, we were going to concede. So the whole thing was we need to get younger, fitter defenders in. Bonner, obviously, we let him go because of his age. Zuma's knees were shocking. So we've brought new centre-halves in, but we still look as leaky. Do you know what I mean? We've addressed the problem that our defence was aging and Zuma couldn't handle the pace of the Premier League anymore. But we've seemed to have plugged the gaps with cotton wool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And this is the thing. You just can't. I can't see a way out. I can't see a manager coming in and getting anything different out of a different tune out of some of these players. we're still old. We've got one of the oldest squads in the Premier League, if not the oldest squads in the Premier League. Yeah, we've got an Antonio that we try and use as a battering ram who's not as quick as he used to be. Danny Ings can't play as a lone striker. He was a bit unlucky today, but we had a lot of possession in there after, and I think that benefited him. But against other sides, we're not going to have that. Bowen can't play as a centre forward. Kudus can't play out on the left. Do you know what I mean? There's too many problems within the side that I can't see another manager coming in and solving.
No, but you would hope that there would be some sort of improvement. You're right. Like, the thing is, the state that the squad was left in when Moyes left was shambolic. Really, with the aging squad, the players at the end of their contracts. So there was always a chance.
Down.
Yeah. 100. Yeah, he did. He did try. So we had to really rebuild this squad. So there was always a chance that it would be a transitional season. And sometimes in a transitional season, you opt for experience over youth. But still, you've got to get the best out of the team that you've got. And the fact that Lopetegui has chopped and changed the starting lineup so much over the season means he just doesn't know what to do with them. Like, that's a big worry. It's not like, okay, this is the team and we're going to keep playing this team until they get to grips with what we're trying to do and they get it. Mm-hmm. We have the same back line. Okay, there might be one or two changes, but it's a drastic changes. It's the substitutions now, where it seemed like, okay, he's good, he's proactive. It's just crazy, just triple subs out of the blue, like, okay, that's not working. You free off, you free on. There seems to be no rhyme or reason or strategy to it. It's just subs for the sake of subs now.
And you know what else as well, mate? We haven't got a spine. Do you know what I mean? You build your team, you build your 11 around a spine of players. Normally your goalkeeper, your centre half, centre midfielder, and striker. You build around them. Okay, you can sit there and say Kilman. Realistically, you were looking at him to be the starter. That spine there, Ariola's had a poor season. Fabianski's come in, done all right. Now he's having a poor couple of games. I think the age is catching up on him. So without a spine, because we've chopped and changed so much, with Alvarez being suspended and being rash in his challenges and things like that, you've got nothing to build from. There's no foundation within the team because it keeps chopping and changing. You look at the foundations that we seem to be going back to is the foundations of old. An Antonio, a Souček. Do you know what I mean? It's
how are we still in this position?
And this is it. This is the thing. Something we haven't addressed over how many seasons. Let's get some strikers in. Let's not have to rely on Antonio. Oh, we've got to rely on Antonio.
And he was poor. Well, I know people think I pick on him, but come on, like, he could not keep hold of that ball. He was passing, his touch. There was one point he had the ball and he just lost it. He weren't tackled. He just lost. He just run it and lost the ball.
Yeah, mate. We run out of ideas. We just run out of ideas. We're not a threat from the set pieces. And I know we scored from a set piece tonight, but we're not a threat from the set pieces like we used to be. All the things were going wrong in our season. We used to be a threat from set pieces. Now we can't even get that right.
Yeah, exactly. The set pieces have been shocking. We scored one all season. Well, it was two, I guess. In today we scored a full crew, but it was a scrappy one. But yeah, that was we've taken that massive goal threat away. I don't know, man. I'm so frustrated. I said I'm worried that they won't make a change. And then I'm worried, like you said, if they do make a change, it won't be the right change or a new manager's going to inherit this shambles. But if we can just get someone, a young, exciting manager with new ideas that could maybe just invigorate the squad, get the squad and put a clear message across to the players so they can clearly follow what the manager's trying to do, communicate their ideas. We could get some, maybe we're not going to have this season, we can see us qualify for Europe. But if we can see us playing better football, looking more, leaking less goals, and have something to build on for the next season, we get another transfer window. We can address a lot of these problems, get some younger players in, more pace in the side. We can, do something then. But it's looking bleak, mate.
And this is it, mate. Going into the Christmas period with games coming thick and fast, and not like you said, not easy games.
Yeah,
Wolves, Bournemouth away, Brighton at home, Liverpool at home. It's it's looking bleak,
mate.
isn't it? It really
Yeah,
is looking bleak.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I thought like it was a positive that we had this Leicester game so quick after the Arsenal game, because it's a chance to go and make that right. Now we've got to go all the way for nearly just under a week until they can try and make this right at the Wolves game. And now, can you imagine the atmosphere of that game? It's not going to be. It's going to be nasty. I think fans have been. A lot of fans didn't want him in the first place. A lot of fans, turned on him quick, and and now after these two games, mate, I can't see the fans going in all happy and clappy. And if we concede first, mate, we could see another Burnley at home.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, it's not all on the manager. The players have got to take some responsibility because, as I said at the start, the defending was shambolic. And that defence have got. They can't. You can blame the manager for the high line, but for some of that defending, it's on the players. Do you know what I mean? The manager sets his stall out, puts the players out there in a system that he thinks is going to work, and when it doesn't work, it's his fault. But when players make the mistakes that you saw tonight, or defend the way they defend tonight, they've got to take some responsibility for that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of reports coming out that Lopetegui's on the brink of losing his job with the former Porto manager Sergio. I can never say his name. Conceição. I can never pronounce his name. He's keen on the job. So these are reports. A lot of reports from Guardian, the Telegraph, places like that, saying he could lose his job. We'll see when we see some of the top sources what they say.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's hopefully these are the right noises, and he comes out and he does get sacked.
This is the thing, mate. And the thing we've got to remember as well, by the time we play Wolves on Monday, they could potentially have sacked their manager. Because I think they play tomorrow. They could be. He could
He'd have another new manager bounce. Wow, West Ham fans singing "You're getting sacked in the morning." Can you hear that?
And to be fair, right, you normally with the away fans, the away support are normally the last support to turn on the manager.
Yeah.
You always find that, you see that under Moyes, the away fans were the ones that were, giving him the benefit of the doubt, and then it's the end when the away fans turn on you. I look at it that way.
Yeah, that's it, and to have your own fans singing "You're getting sacked in the morning," mate. And Sullivan would have heard that. The club would have heard that. They know the pressure is on. Mm-hmm. And like I said, that Wolves game, mate, it's going to be a pressure cooker if he's still there.
Exactly.
And they can have a chance to really turn it. Imagine we sign someone, an exciting manager before that game. Imagine how different the atmosphere would be, a sort of party atmosphere, lift everything. The players have got to go into that game with Lopetegui knowing just the feeling around the club and how negative it is.
Yeah, and
it's Christmas time. It shouldn't be like this.
Exactly. We normally come down when the Christmas decorations come down. We're going down before they've even gone up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, mate.
But the tell what else worries me as well, though, Dan, is if they do pull the trigger tonight and we go into the Wolves game without a new manager in place, do you trust his backroom staff?
No, but this is why we should have left someone over, like a Nolan, someone over from the Moyes time. Like you have that, you had like Carrick at Man United, and obviously Rude. They had people that was there, and you could go right. They knew the club, and they were on the coaching team. Understood they could take over. Like Nolan could have been that interim. I'm not saying he would have pulled up any trees and he was the answer, but I'm saying he's there. He's that transition.
Yeah, we'll probably. I think if they do pull the trigger, we'll probably look at whoever's running the under-21s at the moment, just to come up. Is it Kevin Keane still doing it?
Yeah, he was doing it, wasn't he? Like,
Yeah. Or is he
yeah,
is he now the sort of director of the academy? I can never remember who's doing what there. But
yeah. Oh, Mark Robson.
there you go. So it's just having somebody in who knows something a bit about the club. That's how you got to look at it. It's got to go from that.
Yeah,
It's just mad, mate. It really is.
yeah. And a lot of people say Noble, right? But I don't think he's even got his badges, and he has no experience whatsoever of management.
No, and this is the thing, mate. I don't think Nobes would want it, and I don't.
No, I think he would, but he might have done his badges, but he hasn't really got any practical hands-on coaching experience. He's been the sporting director. So I think, Stuyvesant's technical director, Nobes is sporting director.
Yeah.
So he hasn't actually got any hands-on coaching experience. He's just someone who, loves the club. So, yeah, as much as it sounds like a fairy tale idea, I don't think in practicality it works. Maybe get Nolan back in as the interim. I don't know. Like, just someone for a couple of games just to take over. And
this is it. It's just a case of if you've not made your mind up who the manager is going to be, and you've got a few people you want to speak to, then you're going to need an interim manager. You're going to need someone to step up to the plate, and you just need some fresh ideas and somebody who does know a bit about the club.
Yeah, absolutely shambles, mate. Absolutely shambles, all top to bottom. So let's hope something's done, mate.
Need to. Something's got to give or something's got to change.
Yeah, because this is just not good enough. Someone said like the players are knackered, and I thought, how can that be an excuse when we've no Europe, went out of the Carabao early, we've had multiple international breaks where a lot of these players didn't go, and other teams that we're competing around have played either the same amount of games or more.
and you can't use tiredness as an excuse because Leicester played on the Saturday. Do you know what I mean? They kicked off. Okay, they've had a couple more hours because they were a 3:00 kickoff, I think.
Yeah, still,
you can't be using these. You can use these excuses when you've had a long hard slog, a long hard season. When we were playing Thursday, Sunday with a small squad and an aging squad, you can see tiredness creeping in. You can see that type of thing, but not at this stage of the season. We shouldn't be seeing players tired at this stage of the season. These are finely tuned athletes. They're not football players of old who have been out on the piss on Saturday night after getting battered by Arsenal. These are players that were back in on their regimented diets, their regimented systems of training. That's just. I think that's just would be just an excuse that the players would use to try and sort of move to deflect off of their own performances.
Yeah, 100%, mate. So, look, we'll see. Fan cams are going up, so look out for those. And let's hope we've got something positive to talk about soon because I can't take this anymore.
Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So thank you, everyone, for watching. And one thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.